Before starting your wallet, you'll need to make a cutting plan. There is 3 pattern pieces. There is the outside wallet, then there's also the inside liner, so you'll need to cut 2 of those. There is the inside large pocket that folds in half, that will become this piece, and then there's the small inside pocket, which becomes this piece. So before you start, take your 3/4 flats and iron them, and then you'll make a cutting plan from there. After you iron your 1/4 flats, cut a small piece of fabric from the corner of it, and that's what you're going to use to make your cutting guide for your design layout. You're going to be making 2 different wallets, so I want you to make two different designs by using the fabric in different ways. So this will be the outside of the fabric, will be the umbrella. You can tape it on there and maybe write a note to yourself, umbrella. The inside lining is the gold color, orangish color. The big pocket's going to be the stars, and the lower pocket's going to be the umbrella. Then my second design, I'm going to change it up and have the gold color be on the outside. The star is going to be the lining. The umbrella will be the big pocket, and the gold will be the lower pocket. Just remember when you're making your cutting layout that the outside is what you're going to be looking at when you use your wallet, and when it's open, the inside lining will be a big part, and the lower pocket, the smaller pocket, you'll see. And that bigger pocket, even though it's a big piece, you're just going to see a little strip of it. So remember that when you're laying out your design. This is the pattern piece for the outside and the inside lining on the wallet, so you need to cut 2 of those, and you'll also need to cut 1 interfacing. So you'll want to lay those pattern pieces, you'll want to lay those 2 pieces of fabric and that interfacing all at the same time and cut them all at once so that they match exactly. This is interfacing. I have some pieces pre-cut that are about the size that you need. When you feel this fabric, you'll see there's a smooth side and there is a bumpy side to the interfacing. You want to make sure that this bumpy side is against the lining, the outside of your fabric. You'll need to iron this on, and what that bumpy texture is, it's actually a type of adhesive that when heat goes onto it, it adheres to the wallet. And what it does is it gives, once you iron it on, you need to use a press cloth. It gives your fabric a little bit of extra stiffness to make it more durable. The outside of this wallet is the umbrella, and the inside lining is the gold fabric. So I'm going to place my lining fabric face to face with my umbrella fabric, and I want to take my interfacing, and here's the bumpy side. I want the textured side, the bumpy side, to be on the wrong side of my wallet. That's how I'm going to iron it on. I'm going to place my pattern piece here on the edge, pin it down, and cut it out. The large inside pocket is going to be the star fabric here. So I'm going to lay this following the grain line, pin that down and cut that out. And then my smaller pocket, which will be my umbrella fabric, I'll lay that following the grain line as well and cut that out. When you finish cutting out your first design, pin all those pieces together so that you have the right pieces together, and then go ahead and do the same thing for your second wallet. Get all of your cutting done before you start sewing anything. After you cut your pieces, everything out for both your wallets, start with your first wallet. Sew 1 wallet first before you sew the second wallet. So this is the right side of the fabric. I'm going to take my interfacing and put the bumpy side to the wrong side of my wallet. There's a press cloth. It's just a piece of muslin over by the ironing board. You lay that cloth on top and then you press it. Be sure to use steam. The steam will help the adhesive stick to your fabric. So again, that's the bumpy side of the interfacing to the wrong side of your outside of your wallet. After that, put that aside, and you're going to construct the inside pockets first. So you'll take your large pocket, fold it in half, match up the notches, and you'll iron it down. And then you'll take your smaller pocket and do the same thing. So you'll have 2 pieces that look like this. After that, you'll want to lay the smaller pocket on top of the larger pocket, and then go to the ironing board. Iron those in half to create a crease, because you're going to stitch down the center of that crease, and that's going to create the two halves of the pocket for you. After you have your pockets sewn down, make sure you backstitch at the bottom and the top. You'll have your pockets together. You will get a piece of elastic. It's pre-cut, and the elastic's going to be facing the wrong direction, and it's going to be 1 inch down from the top of the lower pocket. Stitch that down, go back and forth a couple times to make it secure. Make sure the edges of the elastic come to the end of the pocket. After you have the pocket constructed, the pockets and the elastic sewn together, you're going to take your lining piece, this is the inside part of the wallet, and you're going to sew the pocket to the lining. So place it on top, put several pins in here all the way around. If you want, keep them out of the way of the presser foot, and you'll back stitch here, pivot, and sew this around. You can sew it like at 1/4 inch. We're going to be putting everything together with 5/8 inch seam allowance. When you're finished with that, so now you have your inside wallet, you have your outside wallet. You make a wallet sandwich. Looks like this on your instructions. So you place them face to face, and then you stitch all the way around 5/8. But you need to leave an opening at the top. So probably about 3 fingers, 3 or 4 finger opening, about 4, let's say, there and there. So you'll start stitching 5/8 here, back stitch. When you get to the edge, pivot. You'll come down to this first notch, you actually pivot there, all the way to the bottom, 5/8. Leave the needle down, pivot along here until you get all the way back to the top where you leave a back stitch. After that, you'll trim your seam allowances and clip your corners. I have an example on a demonstration board for you to look at. Then you turn your wallet all the way around through this opening, and when you get it all turned around, you fold your top edges in and you do a tiny edge stitch all the way around, and that will finish up your wallet. Then you're ready to start your second one. So you have one for you, and you have one that you can give as a gift to someone, and you'll see the second time around it will be much easier. Have fun. Okay, one more. This is what it looks like after you stitch around it, and then you'll want to clip the corners and trim off extra fabric. Don't trim it too close. You need to leave at least 1/4 inch here, but you'll cut the corners diagonally and trim off the extra. The one thing that I want you to do, though, is where the elastic is, don't trim here. Leave that elastic tail sticking out. And then after that, you're ready to turn it right side out and finish it.